talk. And you know me, I'm not trendy. Let's talk to you about Rastelli. I do know Rastelli. I know it very well, and I know this product very well. And we mentioned this in our preview at the top of the show, and already 300 sets are gone. These are amazing. I want you to think prime rib for beef. And then I want you to think about prime pork ribeye steaks in pork. These are amazing. These, don't call this a pork chop because you will hurt its feelings. This is a prime pork ribeye steak. It is beautifully cut and trimmed, full of tremendous flavor. I bought these a few months ago. I have one steak left. I'm parsing it out until I get a reorder. So I ate all 9 of these. 1 year for my mother's birthday, I sent her these instead of flowers because her birthday and Easter are very close together. If my brother and sister and I all send flowers for both occasions, her house starts to look like a greenhouse. So I sent her these pork chops pork sticks, and she loved them. What's also really fantastic, you got 6 ounces here. That's a little bit more pork than she might eat in one sitting. So she'll cut up the leftovers and put it on a salad the next day for lunch. That's what's so beautiful about these steaks. And they're so completely versatile. 400 are now gone. We do have auto delivery, and I would encourage you, because this sold out the last time we had it on the air. It was on May 19th. We sold it out completely. But if you go with auto delivery, even if we sell out again today, you're going to get it delivered every 90 days for 1 year. Let's invite in Ray Rastelli, our own personal butcher, who brings us these steaks, and he's joining us live via Skype from his place of business. Or no, you're home, aren't you, Ray?
I am. Yes,
I beg your pardon. David. You're home. But Ray has been a butcher for 44 years. He started at the tender age of 2. And and he is our personal butcher. Ray, you know I love these. Tell everyone at home why these steaks are so very different and very special.
Well, David, you said it right off the bat. You said, think about the prime rib of beef, right? It's the most flavorful. It's got the most texture. It's got the most tenderness. So think about it now on pork. You've got the prime rib of pork, and not just any pork. This is pork that comes from the Pennsylvania Dutch country, which means these are pork hogs that have been raised properly with lots of care and lots of love. And remember, that's where it all starts. I always say it starts in a butcher shop with a piece of meat. So here's that prime rib of pork, David, and all we do is take that prime rib of pork, we trim it completely, and then slice it down. And look at how beautiful that is. These are beautiful, nice, thick steaks. Now, you can treat them like a chop, but I call them a steak because have you ever gotten a chop that's got that kind of moisture in it?
I mean, can you all see the moisture in this steak? You know, I said earlier, don't call this one a pork chop. You'll hurt its feelings because this is very, very special. When I was growing up, Ray, and I've told you this story before, Wednesday night was pork night in our house. So, well, to be fair, it was pork chop night. And Mom would put pork chops in a cast iron skillet, and then after the rendered fat was in there, after she cooked the pork chop, she'd put hominy in the skillet. Now, hominy by itself has no flavor, but when you cook it in pork fat, oh, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like cooking something in bacon fat, right? So this is what's so amazing. But what I love about your product, Ray, is its versatility. And I love this product. You know I have since the first time you brought it in. Look what our food stylist did here. We took your pork steaks, we slid a little pocket in there, and we filled it full of savory stuffing and baked it off in the oven. Doesn't that look delightful?
That looks so beautiful. And these are nice, thick steaks, right? 6 ounces, and they're completely trimmed, so there's no fat on these. So you can cut it just like your stylist did there, David. Open it up and put in a nice stuffing in there. Now, what's really nice about this is because this is premium pork, and it's so moist, that it's really going to give your stuffing some added flavor because you're going to have all that beautiful pork flavor going right into that.
Now, here's something else we did.
Favorite.
We pounded the pork steak, breaded it, flash fried it, hit it with some sauce and some mozzarella, some Italian seasoning, and now this is the nicest chicken parm you're probably going to have in a long time. Forgive my fingers because it's so big. I'm going to transfer it here. It's almost bigger than my plate of pasta. Look
it is
how perfect.
And David, you know, I started doing this a few years back in place of veal. So instead of a veal parm or a chicken parm, I would just take this pork steak and pound it out a little bit. And of course, just, you know, fry it and then put some mozzarella on top along with some marinara sauce. And we've got an incredible pork parmesan. And it's going to, I will tell you that you're going to be able to cut this pork with a fork. You will not need a knife to cut this pork.
Well, that much is absolutely true because I can show you that right here. This is one that has been grilled off. I've got nothing but a fork, and I go right in here and I can cut it with a fork. Let me do that again where you can see it. All right, here we go. Whoa, hello. All right, there we are.
Yeah.
Look at that. With a fork, I'm able to get that bite done. This is some of the best pork you're ever going to taste. Now, Steve is my stylist for this item. And Steve, you and I were chatting one day off camera, and I asked you, what is the best product that Rastelli brings to QVC? And what did you tell me? This one. Steve is a chef. Steve is your guy here in our studio. Mr. Ray, you know Steve well.
Yeah.
And he and I were chatting off camera one day. These were in the show, and I said to Steve, what's your favorite product? Because he styles all your food. And Steve said, I love it all, but if I had to pick a favorite, it would be the pork ribeye steaks. These are amazing. And they also come individually packaged. Is that right?
They do. They're individually packaged. And what I want you to notice, and you can see it right there, look at the marbling, David, in that steak. That's what you get out of a ribeye beef steak. We get the same out of that pork ribeye steak. That marbling is all the flavor, the texture, the tenderness. And I promise you it will be very, very juicy. Now, you know, my grandmother used to cook pork chops, and she'd cook them to 165, 175 because of the old wives' tales about pork. You don't need to do that today. 145 degrees, and you have a pork steak, a pork cutlet, a pork fajita. You can do it as a kebab, and it's going to be moist and juicy and tender each and every time.
I mean, look at this. Just incredibly moist. See all that moisture? Every single time you enjoy the same kind of thing. Now, we pounded these out, and we made a kind of a schnitzel with this, and then served that with mashed potatoes, a green vegetable, and then hit it with a white pepper gravy.
Oh,
there
my goodness.
It is. Okay. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Now, this is the kind of food I grew up on. Yes. Oh, my word.
Look at the size of that, David. I mean, when you pound that out, that's a really large piece of pork. And again, everyone will be really tender.
Hey, let me tell you now that we have taken orders for 2,200 of these are now gone. And QVC.com and mobile apps are the best way to go right now. We are very, very busy. Here we took those stuffed pork chops, served them with some vegetables, some broccoli, some carrots, parsnips, and a little wedge of watermelon just for fun because it's summertime, right? So all this comes together. Look at the moisture. Look at how beautiful these are. Please consider auto delivery on this because I promise you, if you love good pork, great pork, you're going to get these home. You're going to try one of them. You're going to be like, wait a minute. Why did I not get these on auto delivery? So do yourself a favor and get it today. When you choose auto delivery, you're in the driver's seat. You make all the decisions. When I say lock in the price, I mean lock in the value. If you want to cancel it anytime, you can do so without penalty. But if you go ahead with auto delivery, we're going to ship these every 90 days for 1 year. And when I say we, I mean Ray. Ray will ship them to you. And it's also important to know you got 5 easy payments on these. Ray, let's talk about preparation. Best from thawed or frozen. What's your story?
So you can go either way, whether it's fresh and you've thawed it out. And if you want to thaw this out, it's really simple. Just take this package and drop it under cold water for about 10 minutes. Or you can go from frozen. You can go on a grill. You can go in a skillet. You can go in an air fryer. I'm actually smoking some of these right now, David, for lunch for my family. So because they have so much moisture inside of here, I don't even need to brine them. All I'm going to do is put them on the smoker. I'm going to put them on my Traeger smoker, and in about 30 minutes, I'm going to have a beautiful smoked prime pork steak. So easy, whichever way you do it. And what I love, and you've got kebabs going there. Think about kebabs, fajitas. You did a pork Milanese. We've done a pork Parmesan, and of course, it as a pork steak standing on its own. So whatever you do, it will be very, very simple. You don't need to add any flavoring to this. It's going to be really have a wonderful fresh flavor, and they are blast frozen and vacuum packaged because this will last for 12 months in your freezer.
Well, I'll tell you, Ray, the first time that I had your pork ribeye steaks, I didn't put any seasoning on them. I let them thaw. I put them on my grill, and just the smokiness from the grill and the inherent flavor of this pork was enough for me. Now, if you want to marinate them, if you want to season them however you love pork, that's completely up to you. But trust me, try a bite of it before you season it. You're going to be amazed at how much flavor there is here. It just bursts with great flavor. I will tell you, we're very, very busy on our phone lines. Remembering, these sold out back in May. And now over 3,000 sets are gone now, Ray. And I love, you know, I always say this to you, Ray, and I say this to other people. When you work in the donut shop, it takes an impressive donut to turn your head. You said you're making these for your family for lunch today. You own the butcher shop. You could feed your family any cut of meat in that butcher shop, and you're choosing this today. Tell everyone again why you like this product so much.
Well, I like it because it's the prime rib of pork, right? And when you think of prime rib, it's always tender, it's always juicy. Well, it goes the same for pork. So we take that beautiful pork that comes from the Pennsylvania Dutch country. Think about that fresh pork that comes into me. We cut it, we package it, but every piece is going to have this great marbling in there, David. And when you take the ribeye itself, remember it's got two pieces on there, two muscles. It's got the center and it's got the decal, just like that ribeye of beef.
Yep.
So you know my favorite steak is a ribeye steak in beef. Well, this is my favorite piece of pork, this pork ribeye steak.
Oh, it's so amazing. And I'm going to tell you again, these pieces are so tender, you can cut them with a fork. I'm telling you what, this is unlike any pork product you've ever eaten. And if you love great pork, then buy these steaks. Notice I called them a steak and not a pork chop, because there is a difference. You're going to love this product so much. And I want to remind everyone, this sold out when Ray and I had this on the air back in May, but we've got it back for you today. And already we've taken orders for 3,500 orders. Let me strongly encourage auto delivery, because Ray has promised to send these to you every 90 days for 1 year, guaranteeing this wonderful low price and the easy pay. Mr. Rastelli, it is always a great pleasure to have you back, sir.
Thank you, David. It's great to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you, buddy, and enjoy those steaks today. I can almost smell them from here. Well, because I've got them in front of me. All right. Let's move right along as we're helping you master your kitchen all day long today. And we're going to bring you tools of the trade.